Tell me stories, especially where someone tried to play as a Loli, and what happened because of it. I just want to know how awful it can get. Be me, drunken cleric. Be not me, bloodthirsty DM, Loli goddess, and 5 others that don't matter too much. Playing some homebrew rule set tabletop game. DM decides that since there are too many people, we need to roll to see who is a leader. This is so that everyone isn't trying to do everything, instead of just following the leader. Loli goddess gets leader role. Oh lord, I need a drink, duck parchment. She takes us back into town instead of on the quest that we were supposed to go on. Proceeds to somehow provoke the guards, and they're about to kill us. Use my wit and charisma, and a little bribe, to get some information from the guards, while keeping them from killing the party. Where did the Loli go? Into that mine shaft. I'm gonna need a stiffer drink. Find her being attacked by an adult black dragon and dying. Throw some holy water, wine, on that little shit to get her back into action. Somehow killed the dragon. Forgot how. Another player's god is Bahamut, so he parades the head back to his god's temple. Loli goddess is hungry, so she starts eating the head. My face when she's choking. Divine intervention, her choking ass with holy wine. Divine intervention from Bahamut needed too, apparently. Finally save the dumb Loli. She goes back for another bite.
Oh god, come on.
Both our gods strike her down. Our quest's not complete. We re-roll to see who's the leader. My face when it's still Loli. Oh my god.
Honestly, that wasn't as bad as what I expected. You know, I expect worse in this thread.
Yeah, I
let's just
expect
keep
worse.
going.
I'll break this down. A little girl who had her entire village butchered by hobgoblins. She runs desperately for her life, pursued by genocidal hobs, only to die by said hobs deep in the neighbouring forest she found herself in. Said forest had a few, insert ancient empire here, ruins. Said ruins were haunted, and the forest was thus rarely travelled. A haunt of an ancient knight made a deal with her. Revenge, for a price. Allows the evil haunt to possess her in the moment of death. In exchange, she gets some cool ghost powers, and the knight teaches her how to kill and fight. The haunt helps her revenge herself and her family in the hobs. Haunt gets its freedom from being bound in the ruins of the forest. Backstory over. Game begins. Little girl now has dissociative identity disorder, the character. Players try to help her and keep her around because ghost bullshit is pretty useful. The possession is a pact, so players and other NPCs can't really help all that much. Starts to like actually being possessed. Kayaku by the haunt, played by the DM. Grows up to be rather scary. Much too scary. Make a new character, please. Is now a blackguard and one of the random NPC villains in my DM's new campaign.
Honestly, I think that's a really good backstory for a warlock. I think that's a great example of... I think that was actually done very well. You know, I think this is a lot better version of Dead Parents. It's very similar, but it's like a better version of Dead Parents. You know what I mean?
Anon, I'm going to be throwing tons and tons of shit at you, so roll up your most broken character ever. It's a Gestalt 3.5 game, with most third-party materials allowed, where we're supposed to slowly transcend into demigod-like beings. Let's see how this train wrecks. Roll a character with levels in Wizard and Scion, and then Psychic Theurgy on one side of the level progression, and Straight Artificer on the other. That girl rolls a terribly optimised character. I think it was a sorceress, Wilder, but I'm having trouble remembering because she never accomplished anything. Wait, I'm sorry. Her friend made it for her. She had very little idea of what it could even do. Her character is a smart-ass child prodigy. Oh god. Meanwhile, that girl probably has slightly above average intelligence, but is too fucked in the mind to make good use of her brain. Wiccan... Oh god.
Wiccans.
Wiccans actually give me the heebie-jeebies.
I know. There's something really not right about them. Just because you got crystals and a few locks don't make you a witch, alright?
Yeah. Wiccan who buys into your grab bag of whatever bullshit helps her cope with her neuroses. Including general energy manipulation, ritual magic, Reiki healing... Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh, come on.
That Axe records...
No idea what that even says. No idea.
Spirit channeling and patronage and more. Jesus, she's the type of girl that, you know, you'd be riding her, just start speaking in fucking tongues. Fucking crystals all over the show.
Yeah, Pazuzu tear stuff going on.
Instead of orgasm, she's just like... Yeah. Game starts. She's useless 100% of the time. My character gives the 9-year-old a chance to show her skills and demonstrate that it makes sense for her to be in a group that's constantly killing and resisting being killed. That girl can't do that, and she tries to get snappy and mean with me as I start complaining about having her with us on both practical and moral grounds. She can't manage that either because she's too derpy.
See, that's a problem though. Like, see, when it comes to like adventuring, it's a very dangerous job. It's really not meant for kids. Let's be serious.
Eventually offer an olive branch in the form of some tea I drugged with 14 doses of knockout poison. Teleport us both to an orphanage and dump her there.
Little.
Based.
That is pretty based.
That girl and her friend are pissed. Try to argue I can't do that. Other 2 players at the table are laughing and the DM is trying to mediate. Comes up with a solution about 20 minutes later where that girl's character goes through some sort of childhood involving time travel and comes right back to the party as an adult.
that's that common at its finest.
Great. Now we just have an incompetent adult character with us. Yay! Campaign continues with us trying to track down and kill someone who wants to destroy all of reality. Eventually fight a mature adult blue dragon in the desert. Had enchanted my Vardo to be sentient, bigger on the inside, and able to fly. It wasn't a Doctor Who reference, it was. That sounds like fucking
like
Doctor Who reference. Yeah. Party was standing on it, and it was high up in the air to use it as a firing platform, while the dragon breathed lightning and cast spells. DM announces that it's clearly winding up for a dive bomb. We'll have to get out of its way on our turns, or take the hit because my wagon can't move quickly enough. We all use various abilities to fly or fall harmlessly to the sand. Except for that girl. She adopts a shit-eating grin and says she'll wait for the dragon. DM asks her if she's sure at least 3 times.
That's when you know it's bad. If the DM asks, are you sure? Don't, like, even if they ask it once, that's just a bad sign.
Her character holds up her hand and the dragon hits. That girl activates hostile empathetic transfer. That girl's character had already taken damage. The dragon made its saving throw no problem, and the DM tells her she can't transfer enough damage to survive the attack. That girl and her friend, who is now clearly that guy, spends 2 fucking hours arguing about how fall damage rules and slam rules and psionics rules and blah 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 with the pussy DM who will not put his foot down because he has no spine. Finally concludes that she took 20d6 plus 2d8 plus 13 damage from falling and crush damage. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Max damage transfer is 45 because the dragon made the will save. She's dead, Jim.
Oh, sweet. What do you do with that? That's a problem, I think, when it comes to playing, like, children. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not very practical. I think the youngest you can really do is 16. And even then, you know, it's really not ideal.
Hey guys, sorry to interrupt the video, but I just want to talk to you about our new affiliate, Reroll. Reroll is a D&D 5th edition character builder app. Now, everyone needs a character sheet app for a tabletop game, but what makes Reroll stand out above all the rest is its character art. I personally find the character art really, really cool. It has this beautiful retro pixel art aesthetic, and they are continually adding new races and items, so you can customize it whatever way you want. They currently have 14 supported races, over 150 weapons, and over 400 pieces of armour you can mix and match from to really make your character come to life. And the best part, you can have your own little cute companion, like a little baby penguin, a flying kitty, a stupid looking pug, or my personal favourite, a little corgi. And the best thing about Reroll, it has a free version with limited character art, so you can try before you buy and see if you like it or not. We personally think it's an amazing app that will just improve your overall enjoyment of tabletop role-playing games. Reroll is on Apple, Android, desktop, and if you use our coupon code NECKBEARDIA at checkout, you get 10% off. It's a great affiliate that we think you guys will love, but enough of that. Let's get back to the video. Turned out to be a pretty fun character. Be me. Playing 5th edition, I know.
That's what I get every time. It's like, oh, I'm playing Spelljammer, but we're using 5th edition goal set, and it's like...
Managed to convince my DM to accept a half-anarchid race with tons of utility and combat options, with the silk thread by sticking fire vulnerability as a trait.
Wait, so he's playing a spider?
Half-spider race?
A spider child anime girl?
My nightmare.
Yeah, that is.
My sleep paralysis demon.
Yeah.
Basically a human with a spider abdomen coming out of her tailbone. Oh my god. With the spider legs sticking out of it. Pick related. Make rogue/wizard multi-class for absorb element. Make her really good at cooking. She's a cinnamon roll. A bit too oblivious of how the world really works at times. Trying to make money and grow by travelling the world, adventuring, and learning exotic recipes. She's afraid of fire, but she's a cook.
Yeah, wait, hold up here.
Hold on, she's a cook. She's afraid of fire, and she hates when people are taken advantage of or lied to. Gets to a session alone with a fighter and a kinda artificer background party member. A good-natured adult dwarf woman that acts like a woman child half of the time, full of a childlike curiosity of artifacts, magic items and whatnot, while also being a competent tank for the party. We're just chilling at the tavern when we see two suspicious figures walking in an alleyway. Being the curious bunch we are, we sneak by to see what they're doing. We hear the dealer say, "Yeah dude, this is some good shit, I assure you," as he passes some white powder and receives a large amount of gold. Spider Loli thinks he's talking about exotic cooking ingredients, immediately leaps out of cover and gives a wave as she calls out of these two guys so she can get some of that stuff. Dealer makes a run for it. My character, confused about the running, chases him while calling for him just in case he didn't hear her. Dealer throws boxes, ball bearings and other stuff as he tries with all of his might to lose us. My PC is just running through the walls, ignoring all the obstacles and telling him to be careful not to trip while still calling for him. Eventually he gives up, exhausted, commends me for the chase and asks us what we want. I tell him I want those cooking ingredients he was selling.
Oh god, this is not going to end well.
He looks really confused for a second, but assuming we are using code words and leads us to his boss, Dwarf catches up and follows along. Fat Smoker Boss takes a liking to the little girl, respectively bowing to him with a nervous face.
I'm sorry, but all I can imagine is Harvey Weinstein. You're gonna be a star, kid.
You're gonna be a star, kid.
Yeah. Oh god.
While the girl thinks she's dealing with a master chef of some sort, the boss agrees to let us keep some of the material if we make a run on the private mines of the restaurant. Explanation takes so long that we roll a con save due to the heavy smoke of whatever drug he's smoking, and my PC passes while the dwarf gains a level of exhaustion, which makes the boss respect the weird little girl even more. Seeing as my friend has turned pale and dizzy, I make my way to the kitchen of the place to make some drink to help her sudden sickness. Between expertise and proficiency with cooking tools, I roll a 28. I improvise with some unknown spices I find, but I go with my instinct.
Wait, hold up. Is this going to be Breaking Bad, the anime?
I'm thinking of cooking, mama. My dwarf friend is suddenly hyperactive, as apparently I have invented a new drug. It does sound like Breaking Bad, man.
Yeah, I'm getting Breaking Bad vibes.
Get to the dungeon, kill some spiders, save some people that were going to get eaten by spiders, get the rocks for the ingredients. Boss congratulates us and pays us for the rescue, rocks, while letting us keep a pound or two each. And for the new recipe I made up in the spot, he also advised my character to not cook this stuff near the town guard.
Oh my god.
Extremely cheerful, we return to the town. I track down the wife and daughter of someone that died in the mines in the shittiest part of town and gave them 50 gold to start a new life. I come back to the tavern to find my dear dwarf friend crying like a baby in her room, door locked. I ask what's wrong. Get a nothing between sobs. Go on this heartfelt speech about how, while we haven't known each other for long, I appreciate her company and I would be glad to help her in anything if she would trust me with it. After some silence, the door unlocks. Patiently hear her story. Apparently she got scammed. After we got separated, she apparently went from store to store, asking what some of the stones we found were. She was met with a really disgusted blacksmith when she brought the equivalent of several pounds of meth to the store and asked if he could forge something with this.
Now is this turned into Jack and the Beanstalk?
Please take my beans. After being kicked out of the blacksmith, she went to a fishy alchemist store. The gnomes there told her that the stone was of no value and that he would take it from her hands for a few copper pieces.
Of course it was the gnomes.
Fucking gnomes.
Of course it was the eternal gnomes.
The dwarf thanked him but said she was not interested. But the gnome didn't return the stone when she extended her hand. Instead, he called his own personal guards and told her to get out of the store and forget about the stone. She finishes the story, and I gently pat her on the head to tell her to take the following days easy, as she needed them. I was going to be busy. It's on, you gnome fuck. Go to Drug Boss. Respectably asked him if he knows about this store, and if he has some map of it. Says that gnome tried to sell them some ingredients, but he wasn't a reliable seller, so they didn't buy. Hands over an old map from the store's construction as a freebie. Planned for 3 in-day games how to break into this fucker's house. Stock private guards to see when they are off duty. Get disguise. This is Hitman.
Oh, this is Hitman. For you guys don't know, Megan's been sweating Hitman because it's free on Epic Games.
Yeah, it was free, so I downloaded it, so I've been sweating it. This is Hitman. I'm thinking, right, okay, do this, put them in a box. Convince Logo Bard to buff my dexterity for some dance in exchange for something to keep him up all night singing. More drugs.
Hey.
Heist night. I tell Dwarf that I'm a bit tired tonight after Bard buffs me. Get out a window. Stealth into the house without trouble. Sneak on the fucker as he was brewing the rock. Put a dagger to his throat. Tell him in length that he fucked up, and that I'm going to fuck him up if he ever scams again. He nods, scared shitless. Knock him out. Steal gold. Steal recipe book. Next day, tell Dwarf friend with a bright smile that I'm sure that the store man regrets his decisions. Dwarf shows up at the store. Gnome pleads for forgiveness. All around good fun. That thread wasn't as bad as what I thought it was going to be.
I expected far more paedophilia, let's be serious.
Far more.
But a lot of it was actually somewhat heartwarming almost to a certain extent. It was actually really fun, which I actually quite enjoyed. There's plenty more of the thread that actually hit the bump limit, so we might do more of it. If you guys, I kind of want to keep it heartwarming now. I don't really want to hear the pedo fucking stories.
But if we find some in the thread, we're going to read them.
Yeah.
So if you want to hear more from that thread, definitely we will
let us know. And leave your own comments down below if you have any stories relating to it. This was very different from what we're used to. I was really expecting this to be way worse when I first saw it.
I thought this was going to be rampant.
I thought this was going to be rampant, but I was like, pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
But look, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Remember, like, comment, subscribe. You know the stuff. You know all that jazz.
You know
Check the advert out, and we'll see you later.
Bye.